What's something people don't know about WWI? Sometimes the most chilling encounters weren't with the enemy, but with the supernatural. During WWI, soldiers guarded the treacherous no man's land. This desolate stretch of land, filled with barbed wire, craters, and the remnants of battles past, was a place of constant danger. It was a no man's land in the truest sense, where the living dared not linger, and the dead seemed to hold sway. One fateful night, Lieutenant Smith led his exhausted men through this perilous area. The night was pitch black, the only light coming from the occasional flare or the distant glow of artillery fire. The men moved cautiously, every step a potential trigger for a hidden mine or a sniper's bullet. Among them was Private Rex, who began to lag behind. Rex was a sturdy soldier known for his resilience, but tonight, something seemed off. His steps were heavy, and his usually sharp eyes were dull and unfocused. Smith noticed Rex walking slower and slower. The lieutenant had seen many men push to their limits, but this was different. There was a strange aura around Rex, something that made Smith's skin crawl. Concerned, he asked if Rex was cold or ill. The night was cold, and many soldiers had fallen ill in the damp, muddy trenches. But Rex's condition seemed more severe, more unsettling. "No," came the reply each time. Rex's voice was distant, almost hollow, as if he were speaking from another world. It was a voice that sent shivers down Smith's spine. When asked if he was hungry, Rex simply said, "A little." Hunger was a constant companion in the trenches, but Rex's response was devoid of the usual grumbling or complaints. It was as if he were stating a fact, detached and emotionless. Smith handed him a few malted milk tablets. These were a rare treat, a small comfort in the harsh reality of war. Rex took them without a word, his eyes staring blankly ahead. To his shock, Rex's hands were ice cold. It was a cold that seemed to seep into Smith's bones, a cold that was unnatural, almost otherworldly. Smith had felt the chill of the trenches, but this was different. This was the chill of the grave. Before Smith could react, his attention was drawn away by the other soldiers. There was a commotion, a sudden burst of activity that demanded his immediate attention. In the chaos of war, moments like these were all too common. A short while later, Smith returned to where Rex had been. The spot was empty, the only trace of Rex a faint impression in the mud. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. The private was gone. Smith's heart raced as he scanned the darkness, calling out Rex's name. But there was no response, only the eerie silence of no man's land. Alarmed, Smith halted the march and ordered a search for Rex. The men spread out, their flashlights cutting through the darkness, but there was no sign of the missing soldier. A junior officer with a strange look informed Smith that Private Rex had been killed in action and buried 3 days earlier. The words hit Smith like a physical blow. How could this be? He had just spoken to Rex, had felt the cold of his hands. Smith insisted he had spoken to Rex just an hour ago. The junior officer's face was pale, his eyes wide with fear. He stammered out the details of Rex's death, the location of his grave, the witnesses who had seen him fall. As the eerie reality dawned on him, Smith could only muster these words. The weight of the truth was almost too much to bear. The line between the living and the dead had blurred, and Smith found himself standing on the edge of a terrifying abyss. "It takes away all fear of death, for I know that Private Rex lives, though dead." The words echoed in the cold night air, a testament to the strange and haunting events that had unfolded. In that moment, Smith felt a strange sense of peace, a connection to the fallen that transcended the horrors of war. The fog of war conceals many things. It hides the movements of the enemy, the strategies of battle, and the fears of the soldiers. But sometimes, it reveals the most chilling truths. Truths that defy logic, that challenge our understanding of life and death. But sometimes, it reveals the most chilling truths. The story of Private Rex became a legend among the troops, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the living from the dead. It was a story that haunted their dreams, that made them question the nature of reality itself. In the end, the ghost of Private Rex was a symbol of the enduring spirit of those who had given their lives in the Great War, a reminder that even in death, they were not truly gone.